Hello, 5th grade! Welcome to the next Miss Jensen production. Today, we're going to start our week on analyzing arguments. Alright, you should have a packet, and on the front of it, it should say warm up. We're going to start there. The first question says, what makes someone good at arguing? And when I ask this question, I don't mean what makes someone good at being mean or being a bad friend. I'm thinking like a lawyer. Or if you've ever heard a rap battle, what makes someone really good in a rap battle? All right, take a second and record your thoughts. So, if you're thinking about someone who's good at arguing, they might use evidence. They might use a lot of sources. They might be creative. They might use interesting language to keep people interested. Go ahead and share if you have any examples that I didn't list on my chart. The next question says, should you believe everything you hear? Now, this is just a yes or a no question, so this should only take you a second. Nope. People say some silly stuff sometimes, so you have to be careful about what you believe. Like, you wouldn't believe if someone told you the sun was purple, and you probably shouldn't believe someone if they say it's okay to go over the fence to get a ball at recess. So, that leads us to our next question. Alright, our next question is, how do you decide what to believe? When you think about this question, think about stories your friends might tell you. How do you decide if they're telling the truth or not? All right, take a minute and come up with a couple responses. When I am trying to decide what to believe, I like to think of 5 things. The first is prior knowledge. What do I already know about this topic? And how does the new information that's being presented fit into the knowledge that I already have? The second thing I look at is research. Even teachers don't know everything. And if there's something in an argument that I don't know a lot about, I'll research it and try to find more information. The third thing I'll look at is a source. So some authors and some websites are going to be a lot more trustworthy than others. I try and find information from trustworthy sites. I know not to believe information from sites or authors that are not trustworthy. The fourth thing I look at is, does it make sense? When I'm looking at the argument and the information that the author uses to support their argument, does all of the information fit together and make sense? The fifth thing I look at is the facts that are being presented. Are the facts relevant to the argument? Do the facts make sense? Are the facts based in research and studies? If an author presents a lot of opinions, I know that they might not have a great argument. If you have anything else that is not on my list of 5 things, you can share it now. Alright, 5th grade, we're going to watch a video now that talks a little bit more about how to evaluate an argument. While the video is playing, you should follow along on your note sheet on the second page of your packet. Alright, here we go.
Hi there. When we talk, write, or tell a story, we want to communicate something. Sometimes the information is pretty straightforward, as in 1 + 1 = 2, but a lot of times what we share is not so straightforward, so we may need to argue the point. But when someone presents an argument, you don't simply accept it, or do you? Shouldn't you analyze it to see if it's a sound argument? Stick around and let's talk about analyzing the argument. Hi, welcome to Snap Language. I'm Mark Franco. An argument, or a logical argument, is a set of ideas put together to support a point. For example, this is a very simple argument. You like Japanese food, so you'll love the sushi restaurant. The claim is that because you like this, you'll also like that. But is it a good argument? If you understand really well what an argument is, you can then build strong arguments that support your ideas when you speak or write. And of course, when you listen to or read someone's arguments, you can also make sure that the arguments are well built or convincing. To build an argument, you need statements or claims. One of these claims is a conclusion. The other claims are premises. They provide evidence to support your conclusion. Let's look at a very simple example. Hawaii has hot weather year-round and beautiful beaches, so it is the best place for a vacation. There are three claims in this argument. The main point, or the conclusion, is that Hawaii is the best place for a vacation. Two premises support this claim. One, Hawaii has hot weather year-round, and two, Hawaii has beautiful beaches. Let's see how well this argument works. What supports the point that Hawaii is the best place for a vacation? One of the premises used as evidence is that it's hot there year-round. Well, if you like hot weather, yes, but what if you don't? And what if you'd rather go skiing? The other premise is that Hawaii has beautiful beaches. How do you define beautiful? Why beaches in Hawaii? Aren't there other places in the world with beautiful beaches? What if you prefer the mountains or the city? We're not trying to prove or disprove that Hawaii is a great place for a vacation. We're simply analyzing the argument in this example. Even if you agree that Hawaii is a great vacation spot, you may decide that this argument doesn't make a good case for Hawaii. Let's look at another example. See if you can identify the claims and which is presented as the conclusion and which are the premises that support that conclusion. Cell phones pose serious risks to their users. Several studies have shown a correlation between cell phone use and the development of brain tumors. Hardell. The International Agency for Research on Cancer, IARC, classifies cell phones as a possible cause of cancer. Pause the video now if you need time to identify the claims. Premise 1 is here. Premise 2 is here. The main point, or the conclusion, is here. But wait, before you swear never to use a cell phone again, let's analyze the argument. Look at the premises again and ask questions. Are there problems with these premises? Is there sufficient evidence to support the conclusion? Researchers have found a correlation between cell phone use and the development of brain tumors. How good were these studies? A correlation does not mean that cell phones were the cause. Are there studies maybe that found no correlation? The second premise is that they classified cell phones as a possible cause of cancer. A possible cause of cancer means the evidence is not definitive. Did they make that classification based on the same studies mentioned in premise 1? If so, this premise is a bit redundant. Again, right or wrong, we're just analyzing the argument. As a critical thinker, you must challenge your assumptions and other people's assumptions. Just because something is in writing doesn't mean it's a fact or the truth. Even if a conclusion is based on facts, it doesn't mean it's a good conclusion. You may want to take another look at our video about distinguishing fact from opinion for more information on this. Snap Language has videos about reading, writing, and other topics. Knowing how to use the language well helps you think critically. Therefore, you should subscribe to this channel so you can get smarter through language. Well, this argument is totally true. Totally. Well, I'll see you.
Alright, now that we watched a video that talked to us about evaluating arguments, let's try to evaluate some arguments on our own. You can follow along as I read this out loud. This argument is also on your paper. The rec playground is the best playground. There are monkey bars and slides. There's a big area to play monkeys run. You can see lots of animals outside the fence. All right. Right below your text, it has a box that looks kind of like my screen. See if you can find the main conclusion or the argument that the author is trying to make. You should be able to find 3 different details that the author provides to support their opinion. Go. All right, let's see if your answers match mine. I decided that the main conclusion was that the rec playground is the best playground. The details that the author provided are that there are monkey bars and slides, there is a big area to play monkeys run, and you can see lots of animals outside the fence. If you had anything different, or if you need to finish writing, go ahead and do so now. All right, let's try another one. Turtles are the best animals. They live on land and in water. Turtles come in a lot of shapes and sizes. Turtles are smart enough to recognize their owners. All right, what is the main conclusion that the author is trying to make? And what are 3 supporting details that the author uses to support their argument? Go. All right, let's see if your answers match mine. I had that the main conclusion was that turtles are the best animals. The details that I had were that they live on land and in water. They come in all shapes and sizes. They are smart enough to recognize their owners. All right, if you need to copy down, I would do so now. All right, this next example has 2 different texts. Let's see if we can identify the main conclusion and the details from both arguments. The first argument says, Miss Jensen lets her students watch Magic School Bus during lunch. Her classroom has a lot of decorations. Miss Jensen makes awesome videos. That's why Miss Jensen is the best teacher. The second text says, Mrs. Branstetter's class always goes out to recess on time. Mrs. Branstetter likes to give out lots of rewards to her students. She always makes sure her students understand before she moves on. That's why Mrs. Branstetter is the best teacher. All right, let's see if you can find the main conclusion and the supporting details of the first text about Miss Jensen. Go. All right, let's see if your answers match mine. I found that the main conclusion was that Miss Jensen is the best teacher. The supporting details of this argument are that she lets her students watch Magic School Bus during lunch, that her room has lots of decorations, and that she makes awesome videos. If you need a copy, do so now. All right. Let's see if you can find the main conclusion and the supporting details of the second article. This was about Mrs. Branstetter. Go. I found that the main conclusion was that Mrs. Branstetter is the best teacher. The supporting details of this argument are that she goes out to recess on time. She gives out lots of rewards, and she always makes sure her students understand. All right, if you need a copy, do so now. All right, the next question on your notes sheet asks you which side made a better argument. Let's see if we can examine the reasoning each text uses to support their argument. In the first text about Miss Jensen, the first reason that Miss Jensen is the best teacher is because she lets her students watch Magic School Bus during lunch. Is she allowed to let them watch Magic School Bus during lunch? How does this help her be a better teacher? Do her students even like to watch Magic School Bus? The next reason is that her classroom has a lot of decorations. How does this help her as a teacher? Does this affect how her students learn? The last reason is that Miss Jensen makes awesome videos. Who thinks these videos are awesome? Are they a credible source? What makes a video awesome? Everybody thinks videos are a little bit different. All right, let's look at the Mrs. Branstetter text. The first reason is that Mrs. Branstetter's class always goes out to recess on time. What if her students aren't finishing their work? Does this make her a good teacher? The next reason is that Mrs. Branstetter likes to give out lots of rewards. What kinds of rewards is she giving out? Are they even good rewards? I hear she makes the big bucks, so maybe they are good rewards. The last reason is that she always makes sure her students understand before she moves on. How is she making sure that they understand? Is this taking time away from other things that she should be doing? All right, at this point, you should go on and figure out who you think made the better argument. Go. All right, the last question for this activity is, which side do you agree with? Even though Miss Jensen and Mrs. Branstetter are two pretty awesome people, I want to know who you agree with based on the passage. It doesn't have to be the same person that made the better argument. Go. Make sure you're using evidence from the text. All right, I'm going to read an article called "Should You Throw Away Your Earbuds?" Listen up, your listening habits could be damaging your ears. While I read this, you should be following along on the paper copy that was handed out by your teacher. All right. Hey, you. Yes, you. With the earbuds. Do you mind taking those off for a few minutes? Because you definitely need to hear this message. According to a study published by the American Medical Association, 1 out of every 5 teenagers suffer from hearing loss, damage to their ears that makes it hard to hear many sounds. That's a 33% increase since 1994. Hearing loss can happen for different reasons. One of the most common is old age. But for you and your friends, the biggest threat is probably your headphones or earbuds. So does this mean you should toss them in the trash? All right, now that we've read the section glued to our heads, I want you to go back and find the main conclusion. What evidence does the author use to support their main conclusion? Go. All right. I believe that the main conclusion of the section glued to our heads is that headphones are good. The evidence that I have to support this argument is that you can listen to your favorite songs wherever you go, you don't annoy others, and families don't have to fight over music. If you have details that I did not add to my list, go ahead and share them now. Glued to our heads. Headphones were invented more than a century ago, but they weren't widely used until the early 1980s, when an ingenious device called the Walkman forever changed how we listen to our favorite songs. Small as a sandwich, the Walkman was a portable music player that came with a pair of lightweight headphones. For the first time, people could listen to music wherever they went without annoying others around them. Over the years, headphones got smaller and lighter. Earbuds became popular in 2001, but with the first iPods. And now, many of us keep earbuds or headphones practically glued to our heads. And why shouldn't we? Thanks to these handy listening tools, families no longer have to fight about what music to play on the car radio or which show to watch on Sunday night. Each person can plug in his or her own private entertainment center, a phone, a tablet, or a computer. Driving 8 hours to Pittsburgh? No problem. You can play Minecraft while your 3-year-old sister enjoys her episodes of Doc McStuffins, which you, thankfully, do not have to hear. All right, now that we've read the section Permanent Damage, see if you can find the main conclusion and the evidence that supports this argument. Go. All right, I found that the main conclusion is that headphones are bad. The evidence that I have to support this argument is that high volume can damage cells in your ear. Listening at low volume can also damage your cells, and this damage is often permanent. If you have any other details that I did not include, please share them now. Permanent damage. But could your listening habits be putting your hearing at risk? Many experts say yes. They point out that listening to music, or any noise, at high volume damages the tiny cells in our ears that transmit sound to our brains. Even listening at lower volumes over long periods of time can be harmful. Most worrisome, the damage can often be permanent. Some experts recommend simply being more careful. Listen at lower volumes. Choose over-the-ear headphones, which tend to be easier on the ears than earbuds. And limit yourself to no more than 30 minutes at a time. Or here's another idea. Maybe we should all just unplug. Instead of listening to music, we can listen to the world around us and to each other. How does that sound to you? All right, the next question asks, which section makes a better argument? And why? Make sure you're supporting your answer with reasons from the text. All right, take a minute to do this on your own. Go. All right, now share with a partner. Who do they think made a better argument? Why? Go. All right, let's have a couple people share out. What do they think was a better argument and why? Go. All right, the last question asks you, which section do you believe more and why? You're going to write by yourself now, all right? Write on your paper what you believe, why. Make sure you're using evidence from the text. Go. All right, now you're going to meet with a partner. Talk to your partner. Do you believe the same thing? Do you have the same reasons that you believe the same thing? Or do you believe different things? Why do you believe different sides of this argument? Go. All right, raise your hand if you believe that headphones are good. Have a couple people share out why they think headphones are good. Raise your hand if you think headphones are bad. Have a couple people share out why they think headphones are bad. All right, 5th grade, thank you so much for watching my video. I hope you are better able to analyze arguments. This has been a Miss Jensen production.